What's up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of Ste Reacts. Today we're doing some of my favorite transformations. The vegan to animal-based comeback stories. Everybody loves a comeback story. Everybody loves an underdog, and vegans are the underdog in life because their health deteriorates until, hopefully, as sad as that is, they rebound back to something like the proper human diet. And today we're going to scour the internet for good examples of this. People that thought they had it all figured out, that veganism was the way to save their health, to save their planet, to save the animals, only to do it and start breaking down. It's not the way. I'm here to show you why, but don't just take my word for it. Let's watch what people have to say on the internet. Let's see people's stories. Vegan for 4 years. I'll do it myself. Meat and working out, let's go. Damn, son. Okay. You see that? That guy went from, like, he was skinny, he was doing the whole vegan thing, 4 years, he was wasting away, he was a little bit flabby, then to chatty daddy. Look at that, the guy jacked. A lot of hard work. You know, meat alone won't do that to you. But if you're going to be disciplined, you're going to be putting the hours in the gym, you want to support it with the most nutritious diet. Animal-based diets, my friends. Meat heals. Meat can also give you the gains. 2 years ago, munching plants and grains. Looks like a plant muncher. Here we go. He's back. Raw steak and organs.
Finally figured out what a caloric surplus was. Had nothing to do with veganism. You just finally ate. It's like saying, my hair was pitifully short when I was a vegan. But now 4 years into carnivorism, and I've got these beautiful, luscious locks. And the fact that I stopped getting haircuts, that has nothing to do with it. It was all because of the meat. Beef tallow.
Beef tallow, indeed. Now, the guy that was also his detractor had a luscious head of hair. But a lot of people lose the hair on veganism. We've seen this, hair thinning, hair falling out, because nutritional needs that are required for healthy hair, like vitamin A and zinc and these other cofactors, are found most abundantly in animal products, especially nose to tail animal nutrition. This guy went on to eat raw steak and raw liver. Maybe don't need to go that crazy, but then the vegan homie at the end was like this has nothing to do with his veganism days or eating meat. He just found a caloric surplus, and there might be some truth in that. But it's also making a lot of assumptions about this guy. It was this guy's transformation. He attributes it to getting on an animal-based diet and eating protein, eating raw liver, eating raw meat. Because calories aside for a minute, if we just stack up, all calories are not created equal. 1,000 calories from plant-based foods is not the same as 1,000 calories from animal-based foods. Mostly down to the nutrient density. Animal-based foods are going to kick the crap out of plants from a nutrient density and a bioavailability standpoint. So yes, while calories do matter in any quest, whether you're trying to move the scale down or up, build muscle, calories, units of energy, measurement, total energy consumed does matter. But it's often quite hard for people to hit adequate calories on a vegan diet, especially if they're doing it right. And the danger with doing a veganism diet right is usually when it doesn't work, they go harder. It's like, oh, I'm not vegan enough. Now I've got to go raw, lacto, blah, blah, blah. All these crazy, monikers that they put on this, as opposed to just simplifying, eating the food that we're designed to eat, getting your body a boatload of nutrients, and then filling out your skeleton, putting on healthy muscle, and thriving. 10 pounds down in 21 days. 12 pounds in 30 days, 22 pounds down in a month and a half. That's pretty remarkable. That's not possible for it all to be fat loss. There's going to be some inflammation drops. I think that's probably what you're seeing here with the very visible flatter tummy from when this lady started. Loss of gut irritation, providing your body with the nutrition, upregulating your metabolism, nutrients being the keys that unlock a healthy metabolism. And if you've got some bloat, some gut issues, you want to try something like an animal-based diet, or even in extreme cases, a carnivore diet to eliminate all the crap so you can heal and thrive. This lady did an incredible job. 22 pounds down in a month and a half is wild.
Veganism is a scam. Hi, I'm Shannon, and I'm a recovering vegan. Today, I'm going to explain the typical life cycle of a vegan.
Recovering vegan. I want to just point this out because we see this so much. So many vegan to carnivore / animal-based recovery stories. How many do you see going the other way? How many vegan recovery stories do you see where it was like, oh, I was animal-based, I was feeling terrible by eating all of this delicious food and avoiding seed oils and sun-maxing and living a primal style lifestyle, and I felt so bad that I had to go veganism, and that was the answer. Spoiler alert, you don't see it. Find me one. Link it in the comments if they exist. I don't think I've ever seen an animal-based to vegan transformation, but I've seen thousands of vegan to animal-based transformations. The proof is in the pudding.
Firstly, you'll come across some vegan propaganda where you'll be convinced to try vegetarianism, but then you learn about the dairy industry and chicken periods, so you give up those two for the animals, your health, and for the planet. Initially, you feel
There's the trifecta, right? The animals, your health, and the planet. This is the sexy vegan hand grenade that they lob over the fence. It's like, it's better for everything, your health, the planet, the animals, everybody. The world should be vegan. We'll save everything. But then the wheels start to fall off. Initially, you feel great.
Until one day, you realize you don't quite feel yourself anymore. You start feeling tired all the time. You're frequently hungry, bloated, or bruising easily. Your hair is thinning, but you never connect the dots that veganism
Well, you can't connect the dots that it's veganism that's doing this because you've been sold a false bill of goods that veganism is the answer. Well, spoiler alert, veganism diets, they're not natural. There is no hunter-gatherer culture that exists through observable history that had a 100% plant-based diets. Are there cultures that ate more plants and some that were basically carnivores, like the Maasai? Sure. But there are none that are 100% plant-based or vegan, and that should tell you something.
I was vegan for 6 years, and I was ready to die on that hill.
Oof.
In the beginning, I felt awesome. Mind you, I was in my early 20s. Our bodies can handle a lot.
That's a good point. You can get away with a lot of dumb shit when you're in your 20s. You're essentially made of magic and rubber that you can survive off Red Bull and beer or veganism for 6 years until the wheels fall off. And this was a hill that she was willing to die on. So what happened?
It's a hard pill to swallow when you believe something is the best and then you can see that it's not. And I saw some of the funding behind the vegan movement and I was like, I'm out. Eating much more nutritionally dense food like beef has been a game changer.
You're like, her plate right now looks like ground beef and maybe some sweet potatoes, like real food, nutrient dense.
First of all, this is so much better than tofu. I feel satisfied. I don't feel like a bloated asshole. I have sustained energy. And the vitamins and minerals I can get from beef is just like incomparable to what you could get from salad bowls that I was living off of. Making this diet change has been the biggest positive impact on my health. I don't regret being vegan because I needed to learn all the lessons, but this is what fuels me and has me feeling my best.
She figured it out. And a good perspective there. She doesn't regret being vegan for all that time, despite the challenges she went through, because it put her back on the path. And you've kind of got to learn the hard way sometimes. You got to fuck around and find out. And she did. And what she found out is veganism wasn't the way. An animal-based diet was the way. Ground beef, nature's grown nutrients that are offered in the most bioavailable form. The plants cannot hold a candle to a good plate of a fatty ribeye. It's wild to me that people still legitimately think a big bowl of arugula with some balsamic vinegar is healthier than a grass-fed, grass-finished, fatty ribeye. Come on.
So I used to think that low-carb diets were actually psychotic. I would be like, these carnivores are gonna die. Anyone who's doing like traditional keto, I would be like, why would you remove fruit from your diet? Like, what are you doing? You're so stupid, blah, blah, blah. Now I get it. Now I get why removing carbs is like a game changer.
She gets it.
I'm currently eating a carnivore egg salad. This is hard-boiled eggs and bacon, and the dressing is cottage cheese. This is delicious, by the way. But yeah, eating this way, I've lost 60 pounds. I put my insulin-resistant PCOS in remission. No longer dealing with insulin resistance or PCOS. My periods, painless. Sugar, never crave it.
I mean, 60 pounds weight loss is super impressive. This could be a bit of a chicken or the egg story. Would losing 60-pound reverse insulin resistant derived PCOS? Yeah, probably. But you can't get to the point where you can lose 60 pounds unless you address the underlying issue of insulin resistance. And the standard Western diet are plant-based diets that are often loaded with artificial crap and Beyond Burgers and fake this, that, and the other. And the celebration, the lauding after the savior seed oils, which we know are absolute trash engine lubricant byproducts that we've been fooled into thinking are healthier than things like butter or tallow, or even healthy plant-based oils like coconut oil. These are the things that actually lead to the insulin resistance that causes a person to be 60 pounds overweight. And guess what? You remove that stuff, you go back to carnivorism in this lady's story, or something like an animal-based diet where you heal the insulin resistant, and then you have the ability to add in more delicious things like nature's most bioavailable carbohydrates in the form of fruit, meat, fruit, raw dairy, honey, maple syrup. Voila, the human diet in a nutshell. Tasty, delicious, easy, and all of a sudden, you don't think those animal-based folks are that crazy anymore.
The moment I went vegan, and I have no idea if it was because of this, but I lost my period.
It probably was.
And to this day, I still have not had it again.
Damn. By the way, this is crazy, right? Like if you lose your period, your body is essentially shutting down the reproduction factory. It's saying, no bueno, I am not in a state of health to bring a life into this world right now. That is a major, major red flag. And this is not an uncommon story for women that go on a vegan diet. You have to wonder the consequences from the male perspective too. Things like healthy testosterone levels and sperm counts. It's all affected by diet. Your body has to be in a state of abundance to want to reproduce. And if it's not, it's going to shut those down. Women just have a much more palpable expression of that. If they lose their period, you're getting the biggest warning light on the dash that, hey, the wheels are falling off here. We got to change. Boom. Lost 55 pounds. It's like chopping off a leg or something. That's crazy by going animal-based. And I feel better at 35 than I did in my 20s. This is a really cool story. I kind of feel like this too. When I was in my early 20s, I didn't know much about anything. I was just doing what every other 20-something-year-old does. I'm 35 now. I'm a dad of 2, busy professional, all the things. And I feel like I have the cheat code. I feel like I have unlimited energy. I would kick the crap out of my 22-year-old self. And that's awesome because our current paradigm of aging is, oh, everything's downhill after 30. And if it's not 30, it's 40. And now I'm like, no, let's push back on that. What if everything is uphill as long as we keep getting better by moving better, thinking better, and eating better? Very possible. Let's age in reverse, fam. I smell some gains cooking. It's a different person right there. The flag in the background, reclaim your birthright to radical health. The 2 women in this video are so different. It's hard to believe. There's like clearly a lot of dense muscle on this lady. She's doing pull-ups. She's strong. She's vibrant. Before, skinny, scrawny. Looks like she's hanging on for dear life essentially and felt that way in her own words. And now she reclaimed and started living the life that she deserves. And she points out beautifully that you can do it too. The answers lie in remembering what the modern world has taken out, that we already know what to eat. And it's the things we've been eating forever. And if we do that, health gets kind of simple and a little bit easy. And there's nothing better for you and the people that you love and the things you want to accomplish in this world to have your health as an ally. Because health is energy, and energy is the ultimate currency in life to spend on the things that matter to you. When you're clinging on for dear life and you don't have any energy because the food you're eating is actually robbing you of energy, not giving you energy, it's a hard place to be in. You gotta change some stuff, and veganism's not the answer. From vegan to carnivore, how Josie reversed aging and beat ulcerative colitis. This is a big one. Ulcerative colitis is like getting more and more common in younger and younger people. It is pretty wild. Let's see what this lady had to say. She was the ex-plant eater. Shift from being vegan into embracing a carnivore diet. Wow. What message would you like to give to all vegans and vegetarians? Well, she said, it might sound cliche, but never be afraid to try something that will serve you better. A person who interviewed me early on when I stopped being vegan mentioned the quote, let the open mind that brought you to veganism also be what leads you out of it. And I couldn't agree with that more. Mic drop. Boom. You need an open mind. You got to acknowledge when the thing that you thought was going to save the world and you is no longer there. A lot of vegans have an open mind and an open heart. They want to be healthier. They want to do good for the planet. They want to do good for the health. You've got to keep that same level of openness to realize when it's not serving you anymore and come back to this crazy idea. But remember, an open mind, because if your mind is closed, it's a death sentence. Your mind only works when it's open. So open your mind to the possibility that an animal-based diet is actually the proper human diet and the diet that will fix your health problems. The women who gave up and went back to eating meat. Let's go, girlies. A lot of these articles are about women. Why? Because women are the people that get preyed upon the most from this vegan narrative. They've always been sold this kind of like, it's too masculine to eat steak. You know, women are supposed to be good little girls and sit there and eat a bowl of salad. No, not animal-based women, not women reclaiming their health and reclaiming their power. They see the value in a big fat ribeye and a plate of protein. That's what we're bringing back. We're making meat great again. We're making health sexy again. We are ma-ha-ha-ha-ha-ing back to the most nutrient-dense diet on the planet, an animal-based diet. Raw meat, organs, raw dairy, fruit, honey, maple syrup. You're never going to get bored of that. It's delicious. It's nutritious. You'll be sexy as hell. Let's go, meat.